Logitech G, and Pay Safeguard.
Counter-Strike's reigning world champions find themselves again fighting for relevance as one of the game's top teams. Their inspired run to the major title was unforgettable, but their performances since have been far from. No organization has so embodied the American spirit and roused fans around the world the same way. Troubled times have been a fog covering the land. But at a moment's notice, a break in the clouds will inspire a legion of fans to their feet once more. Finalists last year, a new-look Cloud9 squad seeks redemption and the start of a successful new chapter in their storied history. The tank tops may be gone, but North American fans want to see the region's big guns unleashed once more.
Vodafone presents the pre-match.
Beautifully setting the scene there as Cloud9 will be stepping into the server versus the Ninjas in Pyjamas. And yet, when you say new look team, I think a little more details must be added. I'm still hanging out with Duncan and Chad to break down our first match of ESL One Cologne 2018. What an honor. Gents, first of all, Duncan, you hyped us up there with the Cloud9. Yeah. You're sitting there backstage scrolling out the script there?
Secret to doing those ones, because this is one of the reasons I wanted to actually get involved with that sort of production, is that people think that you have to just like hype constantly, like you have to just like make up a reason as to why a team's going to win. But you don't actually have to make it up. Like for a team like Cloud9, for example, you mentioned things like the great things they did in the past, the fact that they're trying to get there again, and like if they can do something brilliant, what would that mean for where they've been at recently? Because obviously it's actually a better story if a team that at the moment's like lost, then comes through and has a big result.
The semi-finals last year.
It was finals
last year. Excuse me.
They did get flattened.
They got, but they've got there.
Yeah, they did get there.
They got to the finals last year. Yeah.
Yes.
And two familiar faces who were definitely around at the finals last year were your casters as well. Let's get them involved in this conversation because there's so many things we just don't know. I think my first question to you guys over at the casting desk as you jump into this conversation would just be about Cloud9. So many question marks now. Final stage last year, now you've got Sticko standing in, FNS trying to lead, gone. Now talk to me.
It's a weird one, Matt. There's so many different storylines here, so many teams with roster changes coming into it, and now we have the current major champions, Cloud9, in disarray, not really that relevant at the top end of the scene anymore, bringing in Sticko to change things up. I think Sticko's a safe pair of hands. I don't think he's going to be lighting the fire beneath him, though, to take him to the next level. I don't think they've had any practice, right?
Yeah, I don't think so either. We talked about this and other possibilities they could have used instead of him, but you're right, he is consistent, and he can win his battles, his roles, his obligation. The problem I have still is just that, you know, Stewie leaving, it's tempting, right? It's like going after the forbidden fruit, joining the Brazilian lineup. They've not had great success. Where do they go from here? Cloud9, I would have liked him to stay the course. I would have liked him to keep Stewie, stay with the team that won the major, but they have to rebuild it. Leadership's been an issue, and Sticko is a temporary at this point in time. The long term is yet to be determined. This event could really shape what happens long term because other players, are they even going to be interested in a team that can't hold their own?
Yeah, absolutely. They are going to be playing against NIP, who have their own set of problems as well. They brought in Lecro, a player that's a lot more, I guess, powerful in that sense. He can bring a lot more firepower in terms of tactical prowess or a solid role player. So I think it's going to be a very good game. I think Cloud9 definitely got a shot at winning this one. We saw what Nothing did to Mouse Sports, the last-minute replacement. Maybe they'll have similar success. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll find out, and we'll be looking forward to hearing you guys guide you through it a little later on. First, we've got to get through all of that housekeeping, got to get the vetoes done and all of that good stuff. So we'll wave goodbye to you. That's Henry and Matt, and we'll be talking to them later. Gents, running with that conversation, we haven't really seen Cloud9 find a similar footing since the departure of Stewie. Like, I mean, I didn't necessarily consider him to be the backbone, the supportive structure of Cloud9 more than just a fragger.
Well, there's actually a great term for this that comes from traditional sports like football, which is talismanic player. The idea is it's not like the star player, it's not even the leader, but it's like the player that somehow you have to have that player to have the spirit of Cloud9.
He embodies the team.
Yes,
okay.
Exactly. And so when he leaves, you did kind of see that spirit of the team somewhat leave, and they became a very different squad when they had FNS, and then they were stuck in some halfway house. They never gave him the full control of it, you know?
And they never really gave him time to be an in-game leader to actually set a system via practice. Now, if you look at the cause of the roster that won the major, and then you look at the similarities to when they were back in Optic and they were able to win that E-League season, you have to look at what type of playstyle a Counter-Strike was. And it was a completely sporadic version where people would just make plays within a very loose system, right? Even with the likes of Mixwell and Naf, they'd just get away with whatever they wanted. Tarek's that type of player. You know, Rush is more ride or die entry fragger. With Stewie in the team, he was a similar player to that. FNS wanted to do structure. Now with Stiko in, he's a passive player, so I'm not sure what kind of system they're going to be looking for.
All right, I'm with time being of the essence. I want to get that veto done just so that we make sure we have full time to discuss it. Of course, just best of one to start us off. So why don't we rattle through it, Duncan, and you can take us for a little bit of a, you know, your thoughts and think out loud for us as we see the maps go down. I mean, admittedly, we don't know too much about Cloud9 and NIP.
Yes.
What do we have to say?
It's Cloud9 that are the mystery here, but also because you have to look on NIP's side. NIP has a very limited map right now. They always want to get overpass if they can. In a best of one, you'd imagine Cloud9 probably shouldn't allow that. It's their best map. They play a bit of Mirage if pushed to, some train. Like, they always are open to nuke if it's available, but that's obviously always been the Cloud9 ban. Like, overpass is a very logical ban here. It's just one that actually NIP is, like, unusually good at. I think they're, like, 90% win rate on that. Although, to be fair, that was obviously some of that before Lekro came in the squad. So I think actually Mirage is what looks like we're heading towards at the moment. Inferno, I want to ban that if I'm actually the guys from NIP personally, but they've already used their ban on Mirage here. So if Cloud9 wants, we can play some Inferno. Train is the other option, so which do you think is better?
Look, I think Inferno probably just for a middle ground map, right? It's not too hard. You can play the rotations quite easily on that T side. And then on the CT side, you just have to stand up and hold your bomb sites. It's not something which is rocket science. You can lean those 3 people towards B at the start of the round. And it's nothing that's too difficult. Everyone knows how to play Inferno because it's one of the most played maps we've got in the pool right now.
Also worth pointing out, it's obviously a map that Stiko's played a lot in mouse sports.
We can actually take a look, Alex, at how NIP likes to address this map on the CT side. So we have some new toys here at the ESL studio. So we're going to wander on over. Now, Inferno, that's the map we want. We'll whack that one up. She on the screen. And I get these cool little toys to work with, Alex. So Dennis, he plays mainly over towards this arch side over here. There he is. There's beautiful looking Dennis. We got him up on the screen. Forrest is more like the pit anchor. He's locking down this side of the map. Lekro is actually the swing player here. I'm going to put him in CT spawn because he is actually playing between both bomb sites. He's going between A and B. He's 3-packing a lot with Rez, who is the anchor, and GetRight, who is the support player, which sounds weird to say with GetRight over towards that B bomb site. Now that's the basis of their CT hold, and they're going to move around and go for banana control with Lekro throwing the grenades and the utility to help him out. But we also have a look at an old strategy on this map that old boys from NIP would run when they would get banana control on their T side. Now, this is very strat heavy. This strategy right here is, look, lots of nades, lots of utility. With the most recent NIP additions, they haven't been looking as rigid. They've been looking a little bit more, I guess, loose, more contact, right? They've been playing more of a contact style with Dennis as the in-game leader. And you can see as this one just unfolds that they have all the boosts, all these mid-round moves. When you're going to see them playing right now, I'm expecting them just to be bursting onto bomb sites. Simple smoke, simple flashes, not things as regimented as an execute like this.
A little less of this. That's just a shame because this is the kind of Counter-Strike I love watching them play and love watching anyone play.
That's the problem though, because you have to remember they also did make a transition in coaching staff because they lost Threat. I think it was like towards the end of last year, maybe the beginning of this year, and they brought in Peter, who obviously you really go back in time 4 years or so ago. That's when he used to be coaching NIP in the beginning of kind of coaches coming in the CS actually.
And, you know, we talk about NIP, and I think it will have to be brief, but there was another change. In case anyone hasn't been following, you saw Lekro's face pop up in CT spawn there. Duncan, I'm sure you can give us an abridged summary of what happened there, but some people were a bit confused by the player swapped out and the player brought in.
Yes, obviously they chose to remove Draken, who actually, in terms of stats, was one of the better players in the team. But the eye test kind of told you he never fully fit that squad. They were always in interviews saying they were trying to move him around to different positions. So they let him go. He actually ended up on Fnatic. And then former Fnatic player Lekro, who obviously was kicked when Exist, also a NIP player, joined Fnatic, has now come over, and it's understandable why NIP would want like young talent. You know, he was a good player in Fnatic, but kind of an unpolished player actually. And so in that sense, not really that much of a NIP player traditionally. So now a lot of the questioning in NIP becomes, who are the star players? I mean, GetRight and Forrest is still in the team. As you say, GetRight's the support. Forrest is still considered one of the best players in the world. Again, in-game leader is Dennis just because he has to be. So kind of an unusual team.
I was going to say, was he memeing when he linked his old frag movie of him AWPing?
No, so he's doing a lot of the AWPing duties. Obviously, we know Forrest has done some in the past, so he can pick it up. And Lekro, strangely enough, from the games I've watched recently, has been using it a little bit as well. But it's quite weird with this dynamic of this team because, as Duncan's saying, who are the stars? Well, there's no flary players left in this roster. Everyone has things that they're known for. GetRight's fantastic at lurking and clutching. We know what Forrest can do in terms of just being an all-round baller of a player. Dennis with the pistols, synonymous with those kind of rounds. Lekro with the Deagol is something we always lean to. And then Rez, you know, he is probably the most fiery youngster on the team, but even he's not that aggressive, right? So the sense of the matter is they've gone for a roster now with removing Drake, and that is just solid. That must be the foundation. Solid individuals who are playing the fundamentals well, playing the percentages, I guess.
I can see two very extremely different outcomes of this. Suddenly, Cloud9 are kind of just laid back, relaxed, and we get to see what laid back Counter-Strike tends to bear fruit. We get to see that. Or we see NIP, who've actually done their homework, of course, prepared for trying to get into the minor. Through that minor qualifier, they likely have been putting in a lot of hours, and we just see a really awkward, non-communicative North American team fall on their face. I mean, what's your expectations there, Duncan? What do you think? Which outcome are you leaning towards?
I think for both teams, you're happy with this opponent. You know, you're both coming in probably at peak level, probably not the finished product either for both sides. So bearing in mind it's the best of one, I expect, it'll be a fairly close game. Yeah. And it's Inferno, so it's probably not going to be some super strat heavy game. I think kind of a bit of a death match.
I think if you look at more than just what could potentially go on in the server, what's been going on with this Cloud9 roster outside of the server is a lot of the players, or Automatic especially, he's been playing a lot of Fortnite. You know, he's been making comments, you know, negatively towards Counter-Strike. So if him, who is a player who has been one of the main stars in this team for at least, 6 to 9 months, isn't feeling the game, that could be a really big problem.
You'd think if you were playing that much Fortnite, you'd actually learn you have to build to win automatic. You can't just win automatically.
Oh, that was lovely. That had everything there.
Not bad.
Little sprinkles on the end. Yeah, you should be
the kebab you had last night.
You should be proud of yourself. Yeah. What's that?
Bit like the kebab you had last night.
Oh, mate, German kebabs. There's nothing better. Amsterdam, I could argue as well. Yeah, either way. Anything that's not in Britain, because our kebabs will make you throw up 3 days in a row. So don't have a kebab in Britain. That is our match summary. Anyway, NIP are going to be taking on Cloud9, and it's happening right here, right now. Your very first game of ESL One Cologne 2018 begins on Inferno. And it's time to see which Cloud9 shows up and whether NIP's roster change will work out. We'll throw over to your casters, Henry G and Sadakist.
Exciting times for NIP. Draken out certainly was inconsistent throughout, so the op duties, as they say, going over toward Dennis, but Rez still on board. He was the star for IEM, the last tournament that NIP actually did win.
And it's absolutely true. And we'll see whether they can find some form here. Both teams struggling with that 5th place finish. It's weird for the NIP now, right? Because now they don't really have a full-time AWPer. They've lost Draken, right? He's gone over towards Fnatic, so the guys broke it down on the desk. Like Dennis is picking up a lot. Lekro's even having to go the AWP these days, so that's always been a bit of a problem for NIP. You remember, even back a year ago, as Forrest and the main AWP, it always seemed like a bit of a mess in that department, but the game's developing. More and more teams are going for this sort of philosophy of not having the set AWPer, so maybe it'll work out for them. We'll see. I think we have to be a little bit more worried about Cloud9 at this point, though. The fact they brought in Sticko, he only just got kicked from Mousesports, what, like a week ago, maybe 10 days? So at this point, they've had no practice with him. They've basically gone over the very core fundamentals of each map, and I think Inferno's a great pick in that respect. Chad broke that down quite nicely. It's not a map you need too much technical discipline. It can just be defaults, and it's a team play to actually win you rounds. And we'll see if that ring trues from here. NIP not going to be their strongest either. I don't really know who's going to win this one. I couldn't really give you a definitive answer. The fact that NIP is starting the CT side, I'd say that bodes well for them. It's a best of one. The first map here at ESL One Cologne 2018. And it's always a fantastic event, and there's a lot of big names here. Remember, Cloud9 are the current major champions, Matt, and they're not really in the conversation whatsoever to win this.
No, absolutely not. I mean, we mentioned it. There's currently no 5 set players on one roster that are defending major champions, if you will, Gambit. The team that won before Cloud9 have obviously parted ways with Zeus immediately after winning, so too is Stewie in Cloud9's case. The others are far removed. A year is a long time in Counter-Strike. New Red Bull sponsorship for Cloud9 as well. So obviously the org looking to go upward and onward, not only in CS, but with all their esports. They're involved in everything, up and including Overwatch. Don't be misled, they've got different team names, but the org's still behind them in the OWL, the OWL.
It looks like we are...
I think, I was just double checking it. I think one player dropped just before we jumped into it, but either way, we'll get started. So Inferno to start things off. Inferno, great map, as you say, with fundamentals, but also I think a good map to get things hyped up early for Cologne. It's a great tournament overall. Yeah, probably one of the staples on the calendar, I think.
If you think back to some of the most historic moments and biggest games, like Cologne's got a lot of them. Some massive moments, and stadium, or the arena, always delivers. It's absolutely fantastic, and there's a reason it's such an anticipated event on the calendar. It always seems to have great finals as well. Going right back to my first time in 2015, absolutely epic. Fnatic versus MV, one of the absolute best games ever, I would say, especially on Dust 2. We had some really iconic moments, the 4-man AWP towards the top there. So you're going to see a lot of fun as the tournament develops. We're not in the arena just yet. We might as well be clear. This is the studio version. I think the players and co are all at the hotel right now. We've got best of ones today. There are a couple of best of threes towards the end. We've got 2 of those.
True, yep.
So it could be potentially 10 maps of Counter-Strike on the stream today. So lots to get through.
That's just on the A stream. Remember, there's also the B stream. So there could be 20 maps of Counter-Strike played throughout. Lots going on. We'll get to see the debut of Made in Brazil as well. Not that we aren't familiar with the 5, but we aren't as familiar with the organization. So we'll get things underway. Cloud9 will start on the T side. Sticko standing in, and he'll purchase armor. So far, a lot of utility for Cloud9. So you'd expect a fast play, potentially toward B. You've got 2 smokes to cut off both CT and Coffins. Bunch of flashes as well to discombobulate any defenders when they run in, but I say that and they head toward alt mid instead.
Well, here we go. Let's see if there's any aggression from the CTs whatsoever. Dennis and Forrest, quite the deadly duo. And they'll be falling back. It's a nice little smoke from Cloud9 to give them some arch access here. You can see there is a bit of a gap there. Dennis might be able to capitalize on that. Sticko doing a little bit of damage through, and even more so from Rush. Forrest, though, like we said, great with the pistols, but it's an equal exchange for now. 3 versus 3. The A site is open. Forrest resides in the library, but that bomb, that's all the way to the top of middle, so no quick plan from Cloud9 here.
Smart play from Skadoodle, though. He did get the kill toward the arch. He knew he had the bomb, backed away with it, and already caused the rotation toward the library. Knowing that Automatic had secured pit, no need to overextend. So Forrest to hold as they wrap back around. He's got both kills so far for NIP. The USP in hand. A kit for Lekro, but no utility to work in. They've got to do it straight up. Still a flash for Skadoodle to work with as well, which can certainly be disorienting for anyone who dares try and take the fight. Forrest sees it coming, manages to turn, but Lekro's caught out by it. Skadoodle with the shot, and he'll follow it up. As Forrest falls, it's all to res, 1 versus 2. They've got him completely covered off, and a good swing by Automatic pulls out Skadoodle, and he's allowed to get the shot.
Nothing too flashy there from Cloud9, but it gets the job done. 1 smoke towards the quad side of middle. Like we said, not the best smoke. It was a massive gap in it. Took a little bit of damage there, but actually almost worked out for them in the end. He granted them the first kill and took down a massive scalp in the form of Dennis. At that point, they just traded out frags, had the open A site. Not the quickest of plants, but Skadoodle gets it down, and then he finds a few more frags. That flashbang he deployed that you mentioned was actually instrumental in the victory there. The fact he threw that, turned 2 of them away. He comes out, finds 1. Headshots the other, and for now, we get into round number 2. 1-0, of course, for Cloud9. Only 1 AK-47 has been in round number 2. I think that's fine on a map like Inferno, though. 3 UMPs and an MP7, a weapon we'll see more of. I guess we should know this is the first tournament, at least we've seen, that's got the latest patch. That's the CZ nerf, and I guess a buff on the MP7 is cheaper now. And we'll see whether these pistols of NIP will lead to any sort of success. Doesn't look like it so far. Forrest will be dropped as well. He finds 1 frag, but that's almost in vain, as the round is almost certainly going to fall away from NIP. Get right and Rez looking for some exit kills, perhaps.
Tarek holding at the top side of mid. Smoke still down. He'll swing and just make sure that no one is pushing back up middle behind them. He will, or should, potentially find Get Right. Rez is beside him toward the apartments, but 2-0 for Cloud9 to start it off. Keeping track of Sticko, as we often do with our stand-ins, just to make mention of it. No kills so far. We're early yet, and oftentimes kills don't determine contribution, especially for a player who's standing in first game with this lineup. But as it's of interest and many people will scrutinize, we'll keep you updated. Automatic takes down Get Right, just 1 to find. It's Rez, just the Deagol and smoke, so it's not like there's armor to take off of him, but the Deagol can be menacing. They won't go any further, at least not yet. I don't think they will at all. There's not much worth it in terms of the risk, and they've got 3 UMPs to carry over.
Yeah, that's always the case. If you sure, you might be able to find another $600 for the chance he finds a kill, then you end up losing, what, $4 grand worth of kit. Might as well just hold up and let him save 1 pistol. It's not really going to be a deciding factor going forward in the game. So 1 Deagol saved, pretty much a full eco now for NIP. Rez doesn't even have the armor to work with here. So just maybe a stack towards B is quite a common strat, but for now, Cloud9 looking pretty decent. They're going to have a bit of a bonus round going forward with the 3 UMPs. That suggests something very fast and a 5-man push somewhere to kick things off in that first gun round. But for now, just trying to find the kills they can. Rez, the only player with any sort of upgraded pistol, he holds towards B. And he had a smoke for him in the previous round as well. Sprays that Deagol, but no damage found just yet.
Hoping that Skadoodle would step back out. So the 5-man rush wasn't exactly in the cards. They did certainly take banana control as quickly as possible. They'll leave the 5th rush all the way over. Speaking of 5-man rush, he is number 5 on the minimap, and he'll be over toward the apartments. Molotov bounce play, oranges 2. One as well toward Emo. That will force a player out of position. It's Rez that's got to swing in behind the pillar with that Deagol. The only one carried over, and you're right, it's not a determining factor because Sticko's found 2 kills. Lekros managed to poach off 2 with the P2000, but Rush and Skadoodle will call it even as Forrest left alive at a 1 versus 3. Bomb not yet planted, but they're not actually going to overextend in planting it. They're just waiting for Forrest to show himself instead. Skadoodle, smoke out, had to be a bit careful. That'll pull automatic from the left side.
Well, Forrest can't really do much about this, I'm afraid. Bomb to go down. 3 players that know exactly where he is now. He's smoked out of the CT spawn entrance, just hoping that if someone gets a little bit overzealous towards the ruins area, perhaps, as he holds up, just tries to waste as much time as possible here. Allow him to have a quick discussion as to what's happening next round. He knows he can't win this, of course. Can he find anything else? Apparently not. Down he goes, and they got a couple of kills. That was courtesy of Lekro. The new signing, of course, we'll be following his action as well. Haven't really seen much from him since joining the squad. Obviously replacing Trent.
Immediately. Team kill actually showed up on that, apparently. Lekro, did he? Might have killed himself there. Sticko, either way, did find kills and get on the board, which is important. He's gone to the AK-47. T-sided op already for Skadoodle, which is encouraging because we used to say that Skadoodle was far too passive. He's certainly addressed that in the last year. Took some time off. Almost seemed at one point he might not continue with Cloud9, but he's since come back.
Yeah, he certainly has. We'll see whether he can have a decent tournament here. AWP though, and remember the force buy from NIP does stifle them here. They're even going to shoot each other to make things even more problematic. So get right on the FAMAS. He's the only player over kits. They've got very little utility, and that's why they're playing a little bit more of an aggressive stance towards B. You can see Rez right at the barrels there. And for now, this default looking quite good for Cloud9. They've already got the apartments. No banana control, but that's fine. The bomb's still down at T-step. Suggests that it's going to be trying to bleed out whatever little utility that the CTs have at this point. Get right. And Lekro both falling back from B. Trying to boost their chance at the A-bomb site here. Pre-fire from Tarek towards the boosted position of Quad. They've already smoked Art. That's why he's so confident to peek that position. Knows he can't really be shot in the back. If Rez goes down, that is pretty much round over. He knows he has to get information like he is right now, shoulder peek that corner, and as soon as he spots anyone, especially with 40 seconds remaining, he's dropping that smoke right at the half wall. Flashbanging, he'll drop that smoke now and fall back. So a little bit deeper than I expected. I thought he might put it at the half wall and try and fight them off a little bit there, but I guess this is absolutely fine as well. 20 seconds remaining now. What's the play from Cloud9? I feel like they might have done themselves in here because, as you can see, they're rotating back towards B. Is it going to be some sort of CT spawn split? I don't think they have time to pull off this sort of maneuver, but time will tell as they will commit. But only 2 players going in the main entrance.
So yeah, this has to be planted immediately, and there's still a player toward Coffins. You're right, they wanted to split. Automatic got flashed around and get caught out. Get right drops the bomb round, done. Skadoodle's got to run back and try and save the AWP, and Rush went down after the time, so no money for him. NIP find their first round, and in a rather spectacular fashion. That's about as good as it gets in terms of taking money away from Rush.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what Cloud9 are up to today. Obviously, they're not going to be as coordinated as usual. They've just brought Sticko in, but surely someone's watching the clock and thinking, boys, we haven't got enough time for this. Like they had a nice approach at the beginning. The default was working out. They baited out most utility, but no information towards B made things incredibly problematic. If you don't show any presence at the very start of the round, it means players like Rez have their smoke right until the last second. He drops that smoke at 40. I think it was even 35 seconds. You're in a lot of trouble because that's 20 seconds you can't really go in towards that bomb site. And if you do, you're going to get mowed down. So you saw how that was very difficult for Cloud9. They can still bounce back here, but they barely got any kills in the previous round. Need to be working a little bit faster here, as it's the exact same setup from the previous round. Rez alone, no AWP, but he's a great aimer. And now you can see them operating much faster towards middle. Nice nade, though, from Dennis to find that initial damage.
So Rush still with residual cash is able to get an AK-47. Tarek will go on to the Galil along with Sticko. Damage distributed their way via a nade. Crossfire entry potential for automatic and Sticko to work top mid. Tarek, meanwhile, investigating over toward B. They'll take late banana control as a result of that. Doesn't want to get too aggressive, but at least gets toward the logs. Take it back. They're going to go. And in going, they're going to call for his rotation back that direction. Skadoodle, good find on Get Right, but it's not unanswered as they actually sit 3 versus 3. Dennis is very low. and they're smoked off in front library. That should allow the bomb plant to default. So Dennis has to wrap back around and be very careful, work off his teammate, potentially go for trades, and Tarek wants to push through. He could catch Lekro off. He's got them both in his sights, and both go down. It's just Rez remaining.
Lovely work there from Tarek. Really enjoyed that. That should solidify the round. But Rez definitely have a chance to win this one. Doesn't have a kit or any grenades, and the bomb is ticking at some considerable pace now. As long as they play together here, Cloud9 can't really lose the round. There it is. Great crossfire set up towards the bomb site. And the graveyard, of course, as it will be rushed to find the killing blow, and quite a harsh reset. Even with the lack of kills in the previous round, remember, NIP was so stretched in that previous one, they had to rebuy every single grenade. That's a lot of investment there. It would have taken most of them down to about $500. So get right. He'll get the absolute bare minimum, $1,400 for 1 round loss bonus. 4-1, really not looking too good. This does not bode well in a best of 1. And you've just been reset and you're on the CT side. It's going to be a guaranteed 5-1. Could it go a bit further? Do they force buy in the next round? I would say, let's have a look at it. So $1,900 into the next. I would say they probably do buy. Get Right's going to be like a shotgun or a CZ. We'll see what he goes for as Rez just swallows the grenade at the start of the round now.
Yeah. Tank that one. So 41 HP. Skadoodle. Checking toward top mid, still holding onto that T-sided AWP. Contribution with it. Got kill in the last round. He's actually 5-0 right now, Skadoodle, by the way.
Yeah, yet to die. So,
which is the opposite of James Bardov.
Indeed. Well, we'll see. P250. Deagol, Rez, remember, he did get naded at the very start. I like that Cloud9 are being so methodical on their anti-eco rounds. I really appreciate that. A lot of teams like to just run around and just run a fast default, hope to find the kills. These guys are making sure that they're using the buddy system there. You can see Automatic got a bit of trouble. Tarek's had to back him up. Lekro, fantastic Deagol on him. He probably gets 1 kill out of this.
The best part of it all, fair enough, he tried. He got some damage. Tarek on 1 HP, in fact, so a good amount of damage. The best part of it all is that they played it slow and methodical, and oftentimes teams overcommit to that playstyle and leave themselves very little time to work with. They were still entering a site with 30 seconds, despite playing that buddy system.
Yeah, it was good. It was clean. It was fast-paced. Just get it done. Use the utility. And just 1 player remaining. That's Rez. He was on 41 HP. He'll be holding towards the bridge area, but not for long. Nice shot from Sticko. As he finds the final frag. Not a single kill given away there, as Skadoodle keeps his perfect game going. So then, we'll get into round number 7. AWP's out for Dennis. Remember, they do have a bit of an AWP problem here in NIP. I'm willing to give it some time, but it feels like losing your main AWPer, it's just reminds me of similar problems they had, what, a year and a half ago in Pits and Forest.
That's why they brought Draken in.
Yeah.
So it is a bit conflicting. I can understand it. He was inconsistent. I could definitely see problems that arose. You know, he would look brilliant with it was the 30% window, right? I think that's what someone called it, the 30-degree window, where he would hit everything outside of that. Within it, struggled. Good play from Forest. This is a must-win round from NIP as they sit 5-1 down on the CT side. Finally, with guns back in their hands, they get the opening kill and further damage on his stick go. Forest tries to commit to firing in flames. He'll get taken by Rush. Lekro traded. That opens up the entire pit side of the A site. Dennis still inside, wants to do something of it with the AWP. And as we mentioned, although he's picked it up, he's not as familiar or versed with the weapon. Good hold from Tarek toward Cubby, and this is going from bad to worse from NIP's perspective. As Get Right with an MP7 as a 1 versus 3, no kit to work with.
He has got an AK now, but he picks it up. It is going to make noise, and he was aware of it. Remember, Get Right was one of those players, I said, like shotgun, CZ. He went for the SMG. Oh, Inferno, that's absolutely fine. That works, but not in that particular round. And NIP are in disarray right now. They have got the 3rd stage loss bonus. That's $2,400. That's not enough to buy on the CT side. That's going to be another like small partial buy here. Deagles, maybe some Kevlar, a few CZs. But this is why Cloud9 have picked Inferno. As you can see, nothing too technical, nothing too fancy here. No fakes coming through. Just defaults into nice coordinated takes. Basic smokes being deployed, and it's working out for them. NIP don't really have a response. Their finances have been shocking so far, as they'll hold towards middle. 4-man stack there. So this is where Sticko might be in a bit of trouble here. Doesn't find the clean kill, but his teammate certainly does. Rush mows him down towards middle. That should be round at this point, because Rez will only find 1 kill, and he's now separated from the bomb. And the other side of the map, really. That Molotov going down, can't really do much with this. Finds an AK, might as well save it for the next round if he can.
Yeah.
We'll see whether he can get in a bit more.
If he can. I think Sticko might get to him first, given that he's got that low angle coming out from the underpass. He's spotted, however, but Rez with no armor is taken down to 30 on a single shot that lands. And they now know where he is. Sticko's able to slide out 7-1 Cloud9 over NIP. And NIP, I expected a little more, I have to say.
So now he got Rez on the AWP. This is like,
pass it around, boys.
Right, this is like, for me, this is a nightmare for me. As an in-game leader, how can you ever have consistency when every game, even every round, the AWP's changing responsibilities, it's just being thrown around? Like, for me, I love vanilla CS. You have a dedicated AWPer, maybe a secondary to back him up, and we've got a PC crash, just to know. It's not a tactical timeout. Maybe it was, and it turned into a crash. I'm not sure. But either way, I just want to kind of reiterate that point that, for me, this, like, you might have one amazing game with it, but then if one of these players aren't feeling the AWP, and then you kind of pressuring someone else to pick it up when they're more comfortable with the rifle themselves, it just feels like it can turn into an absolute mess. You need a lot of things to be clicking for that to work out. So we'll see. Maybe Rez has been working on his AWP. Like I said, fantastic aim. No reason why he can't use the weapon. He has been anchoring towards B, which is difficult with just a rifle, especially playing like barrels like he was. You are going to be punished a lot for that. So it is an official pause now of technical issues. Dennis PC crashed. I'm sure he'll be back momentarily. Round number 9, and it's 7-1 in favor of the North American squad, who have brought in a last-minute substitution. He's not officially signed to the team or anything like that, but no reason why he won't be, I guess. They're more looking for, I guess, maybe in-game leaders at this point, something like that. And it's kind of unclear what the future holds for Cloud9. But Sticko, I think that you and I were talking on the way here. I feel like he's a player that can play roles correctly. He's never going to be the flashiest or top of the scoreboard too often, but he can play bomb sides. He can follow calls. He's a smart player. He knows what he's doing.
What's the word
Counter-Strike.
Thorin used, the footy reference that he...
I'm not sure. What did he...
It started with a T or whatever.
Talismatic?
Talismatic, that's it. Yeah, Sticko could be that in a way.
Yeah, I think so. Like he's never going to set the world on fire, but he's always going to be great for a team, I think. He brings a lot of experience, and he was obviously part of the amazing rise of Mouse Sports, and he'll know the formula, what got them there, and he had to go through the grind himself. So he could be a valuable asset. Who knows? We've definitely seen it happen before. These support players go over to different teams and show us they are capable of great things. Look at Taco and Liquid became a phenomenal player once he changed roles and got a little bit more leeway, I guess. But
let off the leash.
Yeah, but looks like he's back in. For us, that's confirmed, and we'll be back into round number 9 here. We'll have a look at the buy overall. Remember, Rez did buy the AWP. Might be dropping it, though. We're not 100% sure on that. Could be giving it to Dennis. But for now, NIP need to start posting rounds very quickly. This is best of 1. Pretty brutal format. If you do have a clean run through the upper bracket, this format, you can go straight to the semi-finals, which is quite nice. A lot of teams...
that seems to be the common way these days.
Yeah, so you'll see that's how, like, Ty Lewis, Sydney, for example, got to the semi-finals. Like, it can lead to a few upsets sometimes, and that's fine by me. Like, if these underdog teams can beat someone in the best of 3 to get there, then why not? Let's do it. So then we're back into the action now. Here we go. AWP for Skadoodle. Has he died yet? He has not. 5-0 still. 13 kills for Rush, just to note. Having a great game.
Molotov, as you saw, it went down toward the half wall, top of Banana. That'll segregate the defense and offense as they sit back on the NIP side and give up Banana control. Further fire deployed will push Rez off, but he's got the AWP. He wants back out. His former teammate in Draken, both before the NIP days and in NIP. He used to wield the weapon. He'll try it instead, not with great success. Automatic, meanwhile, jumping up inside of the boiler position. Don't be misled by that X right now. Lycro is not in the hallway. He's rather on the atrium outside as we look from his perspective. And he's absolutely heard that AK shot clearing out the doorway. They know very well that they're inside of the hallways. 3 players holding pit side. 1 to watch the doorway when they walk out of apartments, 2 to trade off of each other top mid. Now that does mean a little bit longer rotation toward the arch, but they've got lots of vision toward the mid wall. As Lycro still holds, Molotov's gonna push his teammate out. He's alone, no crossfire potential, has to get one, can't be traded. Dennis forced too far back. In fact, couldn't even swing wide to get the return shot toward the boiler door, excuse me, as Rush brings it back level, 4-4, and they can swing back bomb 30 seconds toward B.
Well, looks like the B execution will be coming through. Rush, as ever, holding towards the top of middle, goes to join his teammates now, and it's going to be Dennis that catches him in transition. He's going to lock them in towards B now. He can call for his teammates. This should be an NIP round at this point. Skadoodle goes in first through the smoke, and they can see running out of time. Nice clean round there. Get right, managing to get 2 kills towards the end. That's all down to Dennis, though. Getting that bit of information, knowing the time was low, wasn't that much presence towards middle. Took a bit of a gamble peeking down there, but it works out very nicely indeed. Catches that 1 kill, and then as soon as he does, he can call for all his teammates. Everything is clear. Get towards B, drop any utility you've got right now. There's 15 seconds remaining. There's no chance of coming A. So they do capitalize, and in terms of players surviving, there will be 4 left for NIPs. This is much better. They've got Res on the AWP again, but now they've got the full array of utility, and hopefully can find back-to-back rounds now to make this a little bit more competitive as we get deeper to Inferno.
Sticko trying to work back out flames at the barrels. Forest, meanwhile, with smoke down at the end of the hallway, is going to hold the apartments, this time doubling up toward Arch. They can rotate a lot quicker should they need to do so. So finally winning a round, they have to avoid the reset. You said it, AWP for Rez again, and Tarek already relinquishing, or rather giving up position of Banana. Not really relinquishing much because Sticko's still out behind the barrels, so it's not like they've given it up entirely. He's just willing to fall back. AWP on either side, because Skadoodle once more will bring it out. Has finally gone down. He's still 5 kills, by the way. This many rounds later, it was, I think, around 6 we pointed out that he was 5-0. He's now 5-1, 14-3 though for Rush. Super, super, super impressive half so far for him.
Yeah, very impressive stuff. 45 seconds though, and it feels like this is where Cloud9 struggle a little bit. If they don't get an early opening kill, they go for this very slow default, and then now it's a bit more execution-based. The smokes are being deployed. They're going to focus on taking the arch here, but Dennis once again looking to ruin everything as he peaks at the perfect time. Only good for 1 kill, though. Definitely was a few more available to him. Tarek, 1 HP again. That's the 2nd time as they're going for the B split. It's what they wanted to do before, but Rez in such a good spot. He's going to mow them down. He's got no chance to get right. Chimes in. Sticko now trying to save the day, but this is going to be over. Skadoodle does manage to get that kill. I didn't think he had a chance out of the AWP. Now 1 versus 1 against the almighty Forest. Default plant comes in, and Patrick comes in from the banana area. He's got the kit. No grenades, and an AK-47.
Perfect positioning there for Skadoodle because he'll see that cross. Now, it doesn't give him much to work with if he misses, if he comes up light from Emo. In fact, he's going to play more passive so that Forest is further committed in, and therefore Skadoodle can take the duel more effectively, has the bomb in his favor. As Forest is going to tap that, Skadoodle knows exactly where he is. Forest isn't tapping that. He's holding it. That makes it easy for Skadoodle as he 1v2s it. Essentially a 1v1. It was a trade kill to get there, but it was a swift one nonetheless.
Absolutely so. Well, there we have it. It will be Skadoodle coming out on top. Remember, he went into that round with 5-0, leaves us 7-1. Well played by him, and that's just a nightmare for an IP. They can't find consecutive rounds here. Like we said, they did keep 4 players up once more, but then reinvesting on the grenades, you can see where it leaves you, only getting 1,400 extra. Get right, he's been struggling with the economy throughout this game. He's died 8 times, 9 deaths for Forest, and Lecro looks like they'll be buying into it as well. This could be do or die time. Don't win this round, and it's likely this could end up like a 12-3 half against them. So what's the overall complexion looking like? We've got 1 M4A1S for Dennis, 2 SMGs, and 2 pistols. That really isn't ideal. They've focused more on the smokes to try and hold these T's at bay, but someone needs to go big, and it has to be Dennis, really. He's got the only real firepower here. The silenced M4 with now more bullets. We hopefully see a bit more of it. It was getting a little bit one-sided with the M4A4, but it's given 20 more reserve bullets now. I don't think that's enough of a buff, really. I would say the fire rate needs to be improved a little bit just to kind of make it a viable weapon. The silencer just not doing it for me right now in terms of that's the only real selling point of it. Is just you can't be heard through smokes, but the M4 has got so much in favor overall. But either way, we get into Dennis, challenging towards middle. Remember, he found him in the back last time. They're not checking this position, but every time they are checking him out 1-for-1. But Electro's Deagol comes to life, and sloppy play from Cloud9 will make things very uncomfortable indeed. They don't focus towards quad at all, and they take a huge risk as Forest makes it work. Electro with 3 kills in the round, though, 2 with the Deagol, and you can see Cloud9's basics, those defaults not working out the 2nd time. Now, Dennis has had 3 players in front of him when he peaks from quad.
Solid win from NIP, considering they were down to a 1-on-1, mind you, but effectively reset after finally winning another round. 8-3. They're salvaging what they can from the round. From the half, I should say. Having 3 rounds, then 4 rounds go against them. Then they trade finally back and forth. It's going to whittle down the economy on the Cloud9 side, meaning that although both have SMGs brought out and both have a bit of a ropey buy, there's kits available for 4 players on NIP, and if they're able to win this round, they'll actually break Cloud9, meaning they could still, in theory, pull this back to 8-7.
Yeah, that was a huge round for them. Like I said, that was do or die time. They had to win that one with Electro. So good at the Desert Eagle, delivers the goods, and maybe finds him some footing here. As you can see the money being whittled down at this point. Tarek on the UMP. They'll go towards B. That's where they found the majority of their success. Rez will be boosted up on towards first oranges. They'll be backed up by Get Right. Take the aggro away from Coffins. Get Right with the rifle. Rez with the SMG. That's why he's close range there. Goes towards the second boxes now. Get Right dead. Just going to be trying to challenge as much as he can. He wants to take that aggro away so they potentially don't look at Rez. As the Molotov's going to do a lot of damage there. Goodness gracious. As they'll have to fall back. Sticker down to 32.
Stepping wide. Automatic able to take out Rez immediately with the AK-47. Good find. He was already weakened up, I believe, with a bit of the damage from the nades. Automatic still on 2. Or they're on 4. Excuse me. Player number 2. Wrong number. Either way, gets 1 kill already and can fall off it. Now they've got to be a little bit careful, having gotten Rez, that they don't overcommit. Stick go and automatic both very low. Instead, they'll send out Tarek toward the A site. Given that Rush just fell off of Boiler and the current composition in the banana, I suggest this goes to be 20 seconds as well.
15 coming in now as Tarek goes down, tries to lug. That really isn't working out for them. I think they'd be better off just sending 5 players in the same position. Can they trade frags here? Rush doesn't even need to trade. He'll just bully both of them out of position. What the hell was that?
That's unreal. That wasn't even a lineup.
No assists or anything like that. Both headshots.
Yeah, not even a lineup. They were staggered. I'd love to see that from his POV. Rush gets all the way around now inside of Ruins, and after NIP come away with a victory they ultimately shouldn't have given the weaponry in the last round, they will not get the break point they desperately need to pull this to 8-7. So forget that theory. They will try and save 2 AK-47s, however. Electro and Forest still up, but 9-3 for Cloud9. Rush is playing unbelievably well.
Yeah, that's a crazy little sequence from him. The fact he goes in there, like he said, they're not lined up. That wasn't like a proper spray transfer or anything like that. It felt like calm bursts he was doing. There's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, took the both of them down. 1 to 1 new boxes, 1 just dropped off the boost as well. That was actually kind of nuts. And they were in correct positions, really. Maybe overextending a bit much. Like, I feel like Get Right should have been baiting in Rez. Maybe that would have been the ideal setup. Like, Get Right goes down, then it sets him up with 10 seconds remaining. They're both challenging at this point. That really isn't ideal. The idea of the B bomb site and Inferno, you're playing off each other. You're trying to take aggro for one another. Ideally, you don't want to be on the same side of the bomb site, but if you do, you want to be trying to pretend there's only one here. So there's 1 in new boxes behind second oranges. That should be clear. If Get Right does his job properly, gets 1 kill, then goes down. That sets Rez up with, what, 6 seconds on the clock to deny the plant. That should have been the play, but they didn't really come together, didn't synergize in that setting. They should have looked at the time and realized this is how we're going to win the round. Sure, it's great shots by Rush, and that was unlucky in that sense, but I feel like they could have done more to win the round overall. 9-3, and it has to be the force buy here, unfortunately, for NIP. They're getting into real desperate times at this point, but it's not the worst with 2 AK saved. And have those in the hands of Forest and Lecro. 2 very worthy players of that particular rifle. And to go with it, a FAMAS, a UMP, and an MP7. So mishmash again, but Cloud9 hardly looking like a well-oiled machine right now on their T side. Definitely lots of holes to exploit. As we get into round number 13 here, we'll see whether there's a different setup at all. Get Right and Rez with the FAMAS and the MP7 go towards B, but Tarek looking to gun them down here. He'll get the first, but surely traded out here. Low HP, but his teammates come and back him up. They don't have to commit to this one. Wait for the reaction. Dennis is already there. He's got a pretty difficult weapon to work with, but that was fantastic. He saves the day with the UMP, and that's why I said maybe just hold things up completely. You get 2 kills towards B. That should be round 1. If everyone starts panicking, the low HP, trying to run and make things happen, that's when it can all fall apart. This is where NIP get back into it now. Segregated. Rush goes in alone towards the apartments. Necronos are coming towards the apartment side, or quad side, I should say, but well recovered from Cloud9. Dennis low HP, and he's done his job already in this round. I don't think he'll be able to win this one.
Yeah, did well to catch them slightly awkwardly toward the top of Banana. 1 with a nade out, and then just capitalized. An opportunist in the rounds. Bit sloppy from Cloud9, but they'll find the 10th round, and Dennis at least upgrades onto an AK-47. Molotov down Banana for self-preservation at this point in time, so too his positioning in Ruins. Press E, follow me, chicken.
Yeah, protect it at this point. You're the only hope. In more ways than one, really. Not only for the chicken. You can see NIP's money is complete disaster right now. as they'll get, at this point, I think second stage loss bonus. It's going to be double digits, almost guaranteed for the next round. So, well, sorry, it's already 10-3 now. So what do? They force buy again? Do they save for round number 50? And I think that's the only option they can really have. They've got an AK, though, so they force up around that. It's very difficult. I guess buying up around the AK will be having more success than just 4 pistols and that particular weapon. So Rez brings out the M4. 3 pistols to go around it. That's every last cent they had, really. 2 rifles, 3 pistols, and Skadoodle's back on the orb.
Bomb intentionally left at the bottom of the T-stairs while Cloud9 starts to push upward and toward Banana. Skadoodle once more, 8 kills now. Will hold toward the site. Molotov to push them back, and he'll take a better angle, a more aggressive stance to try and spot towards CT. All the way around the corner, perhaps. Straight contact from the op. Tarek, therefore, has to take a position at the sandbags because if the op fires 1 shot deep inside of the site, even if he hits Rez or otherwise, it would have been Get Right that had the ability to swing out and trade it. So Tarek was basically playing Protect at that point.
Well then, in terms of utility, CTs have 1 smoke now. They have got an interesting little setup towards a boiler room, though. Desperate times call for desperate measures. I like this idea, though. Dennis has been great at finding frags, but unfortunately, Automatic's got his number this time. Surely going to get the double kill here. Maybe even the triple. Forresto will hold strong with the CZ, but they know he's going to be the last line of defense on the ace side. So they can just hold up now. Go towards Arch, wait for transitioning players to come through as that smoke dissipates. It's Get Right with the pistol. He'll have to back Forrest up and leave. Poor old, I assume, Rez towards B. Indeed it is. He's got the M4. So 2 pistols now to defend the A bomb side. Forrest knows he has to hunt for a little bit of a kill here. Does a bit of damage, but can't find the frag.
Tarek swinging back in, easily finding Get Right in the open, who is not yet ready for them to arrive on that angle or that position. Behind him as they were. It's Rez left in a 1 versus 4, and this game slowly getting out of hand in the favor of Cloud9. They'll love this. I mean, we talked about it coming into this. Defending finalists, is that a thing? Runner-up in the Cologne event last year, defending major champions. Gone through a bit of a problem lately, a bit of a struggle. And in this group, NIP, sure, they just made changes as well. They've been inconsistent throughout, but I didn't know what to expect from Cloud9. So this is a great start.
To be fair, even with this sort of numbers right now, I'm still not that excited. It looks like NIP are very flat right now. They've really played themselves in terms of the economy. It's just a game where they haven't really excited me at all. So it's difficult to really take that much away from Cloud9 at this point.
But in a group stage, you got to take every win.
Yeah, exactly. It's great for them in that sense. It's just like, if I had to analyze this demo right now, I'd say, well, Cloud9 played a very basic game, and they had lots of flaws and holes to exploit. A drill team, let's say they go up against Team Liquid, for example, or maybe even Astralis, they would absolutely devour this Cloud9 squad the way they're playing right now. But NIP aren't really doing anything, already had the option to do anything because the money's been so low. We haven't seen the AWP have any sort of impact whatsoever. There's been no exciting pushes towards Banana or a change of pace, and it's looking quite flat from them especially. But Cloud9, they're exploiting it and getting a great scoreline here. Rez will drop the smoke and find the first kill. That smoke is designed to extinguish whatever Molotov's coming towards him. It looked like he missed it almost, but that's by design, I assure you. As he gets the first kill, taking down Sticko there. A little bit player on the half wall now. Times are very difficult for them as Tarek does get a kill in response. They know they're going to be trying to recover those weapons. It's Automatic. Is patient, pulls with a flashbang from his teammate. Capitalizes on the frag, but surely goes down here. Nice work by Get Right. 3 versus 3, but that still favors Cloud9.
So Get Right, smoke down. They were desperate to get this to 11-4. Actually jumps up on top of the barrels, gives up a little bit of damage, takes himself onto 48 as spray from Tarek connects from the AK, and now Rush waiting for Tarek's arrival, as well as the AWP from Skadoodle will hold outside of the apartments. This goes toward A. With that, they still have an anchor in pit. It's Forrest, but he's only got a CZ and he's fully blind.
Yeah, you can see like that smoke's missed. The flashbang was decent, but like you can see they're calling on the fly right now. So like, oh, I'll just smoke this. You jump out now, and we'll go together. It's working, but it's not going to be tournament-winning formula so far. But I respect it. They are doing a great job, and it's perfect for what they're being presented with here on Inferno. So there we go. Get Right, Dennis. Last round, pretty much have to go for this. 3-on-2, no kits, no nades. Just a dream. Skadoodle spots them both. That will change everyone's attention towards quad. Flashbang goes in, but there's no chance. Just run in, hope for the best. And down they go. 12-3 on the CT half of Inferno is about as bad as it gets. It's a CT-sided map. Not as much as it used to be, I'll say that much. It's probably in the order right now, I'd say it goes Nuke, Train, Inferno. So it's still really bad news for NIP. They do have to win the pistol at this point. There's no question about it. Lose the pistol, that's going to be GG. Cloud9 are going to win. Yeah, absolutely. CT side, and if they can get the economy rolling. You're right in saying that NIP never had the economy in their favor and didn't necessarily play that to perfection. The thing is, the problem they've got as well, right? The fact they don't have that dedicated AWP, but it doesn't feel like there's any urgency to get the AWP out. They've only had it once, right? And it just did
twice. I think Rez had it twice.
Yeah, it just didn't feel like they're like, oh, we need to rebuild our finances back into the AWP. They're like, well, we can buy enough for 4 rifles at SMG. Let's just do that. And they kept buying on that because no one's wanting to get the AWP out, right? So that's, for me, is like, that's a massive problem. You don't really seem to have a setup you really want to aim towards. Just maybe if you find the AWP, you pick it up. But
actually, I think to be exact, they had it 3 times because Dennis had it once really early as well.
Yeah, he might have picked it up for Skadoodle, I guess. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's possible. But either way, I get your point. They didn't save to try and get toward it. Lekro, good start. Rush down. You said if Cloud9 wins this pistol, they walk away with the game. So, therefore, NIP going to do everything they can, everything in their power to disallow that. And getting the first kill certainly bodes well. More so because it's against Rush, who, as we start round 16, is already, if I'm not mistaken, well over 20 kills or thereabout. He was on 18 last I looked. To confirm, he's on 21, so he has gone over the 20 mark already. Automatic Skadoodle with 2, pulling it back for Cloud9. Forced, managing 1 so far on the pistol. He got 2 last time, but was shut down immediately after. He'll switch to the USP and try and do what he can. He's gotten to water as well, which means he can isolate Automatic, but rather he faces off against Tarek. That's going to drop the bomb, and Tarek goes back out to close the round. 13-3 indeed for Cloud9.
Well, there we go. It was looking so promising there. Lekro, the opening frag towards B. He thought his classic NIP executions had come through, drop a smoke, getting together. But all of a sudden, it fell on its head. And NIP now, with no bomb plant in the previous round, they'll have to force buy here. This is really the last chance. As Skadoodle running through the smoke. You can see those sort of plays can be so difficult to contain. You're not anticipating it, especially with no warning, like a flashbang coming through. The smoke is great for holding CTs out, but if anyone's got the balls to run through, then they certainly can find kills. It's going to be Deagles and CZs here, and Cloud9 know if they win this round, that's pretty much it. As it'll be 14-3, and the money ordered to be non-existent for the Ninjas, as Lekro has to fall back as the utilities is too overwhelming. Sticko now has full control. This is what Chris J used to do in Mousesports when he was playing with them. MP7, Smoker T-steps, player on the bottom here, so maybe he's taking a bit of a leaf out of his book and trying to patrol this particular area. It was normally Sunny and Chris J that did this, so Sunny not there anymore. It's going to be Sticko. So there we have it.
Pistols all around for the Ninjas. Better rely on being stealth. Sticko just scouting above the half wall. Will spot, I think, both. Definitely saw Lekro, but I think he spotted both heads running around. They actually get some damage in him. He falls to 47. Has to retreat to the site. Has to call for the rotation. They relied on him to anchor. He's been efficient. And this is what you were talking about. Can hold bomb sites and not go down, not overextend. He's playing smart.
That's that he always aims to. It might even be a scrappy kill, but he always gets 1 kill, it feels like. He's always solid for that. He's been tagged up now, so he goes to a more defensive position of the boost. He knows he's going to have an advantage there, especially if his teammates towards Coffin's taking that aggro away. We talked about this. Banana is all about just playing off each other. Skadoodle wants to take that initial aggro like he has right now, and hopefully they don't check the boost. Sticker didn't feel confident they're on low HP, but does find that 1 kill we were talking about. Unfortunately, Skadoodle can't replicate it. It's up to Automatic now to try and pick up the pieces here. Brings it back to the 3 versus 3, but the bomb is going to be planted as he barrels in towards the Ruins position. Get right to defend him, but surely goes down here, and indeed he does.
Rush over the barrels. Tarek to find Lekro, the retake. A success, an overwhelming success, as 3 players started it and 3 players remain alive. Bomb plant at least gives NIP a chance to buy guns earlier, but we go to 14 rounds already for Cloud9. Best of 1s to start things off. We've got 4 best of 1s before, obviously going through the group, before we arrive at our best of 3s, of which there will be 2 today. And those will be brought to you by Lauren and Jason.
The creamy couple, they call themselves.
Creamy couple.
Yeah.
It's true. Anything Jason's in has cream involved.
14-3, NIP just have to take the time out. This is just the absolute slums of CS at this point. You know in the back of your mind this game's done, but we've got to keep fighting. There's sometimes a way out of these scenarios, but you've got no money. You're 14-3 down, and you've got to buy up with CZs, MP7s, and stuff like that. See where it takes you. And they'll take the tactical timeout, but we'll look at the scoreboard right now. Rez, 6 and 12, which is one of the star players, hasn't really fragged at all. Dennis and Get Right, 7 kills but each and 14 deaths. Only Lekro has really posted any sort of promising numbers with 12 and 15. Forest, 10 and 14. At the top, of course, is Rush for Cloud9. 21 kills for him, 17 for Tarek, and then 13 for Automatic. So we do get a couple of AKs here. It's not completely disastrous, that bomb going on the previous round. So we'll see if they can make anything of it. Automatic on the AWP, though.
Nade out from Forest. No one extending quite so far as to catch that on the other side. Meanwhile, they'll start to work up behind the smoke at middle. Flashback to Banana from Forest, so as to suggest they're still trying to take that position despite that they're moving ever closer toward top mid. AKs to lead. Does NIP have tactics that can resolve these issues? 14 rounds already for Cloud9 tagged. This Skadoodle, he'll go down to 73. They know that he's inside of the site, but they can't commit to that as of yet because they still have to worry that Rush is on the balcony and Tarek is in a perfect position at Cubby. Able to spot both directions. Right, getting desperate.
So, still 5 players remain and 3 smokes in their possession. Good map control as well. Dennis is making his way towards Arch, but Sticko is in a position that's almost allowed him to get there. And he's just holding up for that 1 kill we talked about. There it is, it comes in. Can he find anything more? He's going to be challenging Forrest here, who gets a double kill. 3 versus 3, takes considerable damage though. As now Automatic holding towards CT spawn, but he's only watching the speedway. He's going to be done for here. Oh, maybe not. Forrest drops the smoke. Okay, so that stops him out. They're going to go back towards A now, but still, he had a kill there. Obviously, wasn't aware of it. If only he went towards B, there'd been a guaranteed frag and maybe even the round.
100%, I thought you were right that he was absolutely going down. He just barely got away, timing everything. The fact that they threw the smoke, though, Rush knew that meant they were going back toward A, and he gets positioned to the site. Oh, Get Right just barely gets him down, but there's no time to win the round, and Automatic is well aware of that fact. 15 for Cloud9, 3 for NIP.
A scrappy finish, but that's all that was required there. The SMG left in a 3 versus 1, finds that 1 kill on Forest, swings round, the low HP Rez found as well, and at that point, the round was absolutely theirs. It's going to be 15-3. It has to be the force by every single round from this point of NIP, I'm afraid. And I don't think 12 rounds in a row on the T side of Inferno, the way they've been playing today, is really possible. This has been quite flat performance from NIP. Like we said, money, a massive problem for them, but Cloud9, nothing particularly too special. Haven't really looked themselves today. So will this be the end of it? NIP with Galil's, FAMAS, and 3
Good spray down Sticko. Rez and Forest, not really much to fight with as they try and pick them apart with the pistols. Get Right again toward the apartments. He's going to try and spot out Skadoodle. Well aware of the fact that Rush could swing and try and bait himself back in, but Tarek leaves us with just 2 remaining. Get Right and Lekro. Lekro's usually proficient on a Deagol, but he's on slightly better than that this time with the FAMAS. All but done. Cloud9 will pick up a win to start things off. Rush puts down Get Right. It's Lekro in a 1 versus 5. So a good start with Sticko standing in. It was Rush that led the way throughout. 24 kills in total. Tarek not far off that on 19. Sticko finishes with 12, but 16-3 is as one-sided as it gets to start off an event.
Yeah, nothing going in favor of NIP whatsoever there, I'm afraid. Like we said, the money was a massive issue, and then they just couldn't really get going at all. It seems like they got a few problems at that camp. Lekro's only just come in, but still their CT side looked quite poor. And I just wanted to reiterate the point that Cloud9 didn't look like they were on fire. Everyone's hitting all their shots. Sure, Rush had a really good game, but you could see they had their own weaknesses and problems as well. Their basic defaults had a lot of problems and holes in them. Like Dennis was exploiting them a few times, but he can only find single frags. No one was really popping off for an NIP at all. Like, no one really shone for me.
Yeah, and I think I think you made a good point about not having an op there for not really being tactical in their purchases. That might be something to follow, a trend worth noting throughout this event if that continues to be a problem. With that said, we'll send it back over to the desk. Alex is standing by.
Thank you so much. Yes,
we're doing
boys.
the picture-in-picture, are we?
Well, we can have a chat if you'd like. I mean, I think we've got very little to chat about, actually. NIP just not showing up today.
Yeah, that was a really quiet and quite woeful performance from them, I'm afraid. The money was a massive thing for me, and like the AWP situation, I think, is giving you guys at least enough to talk about.
Yeah, we'll get our teeth dug into that. Thank you so much. That's Henry G and Sadakis. They'll be back for your next game where we do get to see Gambit in action. I know a lot of people excited to see what they're capable of, but do have Duncan Thor and Shields and Chad Sponge Birchall. Gents, yes, a one-sided affair. Not necessarily, you know, all the bells and whistles there for Cloud9, but certainly much more than the Swedes could to bring to the forefront. What do you reckon, Duncan? Is this just going to be one of those slow starts where we do get to see a bit more resistance, or is this just going to be a bye-bye?
The big problem here is that it's not like Cloud9 looked amazing in winning, yet the numbers say it should have been an amazing victory. Overwhelming T-side victory. This is a CT-sided map, obviously, when you play at the top level. It's more that NIP didn't really have a lot of firepower. To touch on what Henry said there, if there's any time you could have probably used a CT AWP, would be on a map like this, because Cloud9 just ran basic defaults, and it's not even like they executed them well, because obviously they're working with a new lineup, new in-game leader, but they were able to get so much out of it because NIP never could hold one area, never could get multi-frags, never had anyone really going off in the game.
I mean, yeah, I'm just sorry, but while he's on screen, I wanted to make sure we do mention Rush. I was very impressed by him.
And he's a factor because he is one of the ride-or-die entry fraggers, right? He kind of is in that role, and he does it. Look, these are the type of guys who they're either going to have a game where they get 5 kills, or they're going to get a game where they have... Yeah, exactly, right? And the sense of that is because it's so sporadic. When you're entering first, a lot of the time, you're getting shut down, but you're making space, or you're getting the kills, and your team wins the round very easily, and everyone feels really good, right? In this case, he was getting all those opening kills. But positive signs early from Cloud9, when they were going up against the Eco, they did a full BXQ with all the Molotovs, all the bells and whistles, everything went in there. They're, you know, making sure that they're dotting their I's, crossing their T's, not taking risks in that regard. Sure, there were holes. Sure, you know, it's a little bit flawed. Sure, there's the whole communication thing, getting Stiko into the roster, but it was very simple for them to get map control. They were getting banana control a lot of the time. They were getting balls, boiler and halls. That's balls.
Almost got balls deep there.
Yeah. Boiler and balls.
Yes.
Balls.
They were getting all that kind of map territory very easily. And from there, they were just, you know, able to make those mid-round moves, make those very basic executes, and just trade out onto bomb sites. As well, Alex, as exploiting that rotation of NIP. Now, I went over early, you know, I placed little Lekro on the map there, and I said he was the swingman.
You did.
Well, they did take advantage of that very early. And we got round number 10 here, which is the aftermath. So they've already been forced to start playing a setup where they need to lean more members.
Here he goes.
I think I beat them
Chad,
all to the camera.
why don't you have a walk over there?
I should have been more...
You should have really given them a cue.
Yeah, but
I'm going to show you, Alex. Follow me.
Do that next time.
Okay.
Maybe I caught them off guard. But basically, this is round number 10, and they've already taken advantage of the rotation that's coming in from Lekro.
Rotation from the cameraman was pretty bad.
So... normally, Lekro's over at the start of the round towards B helping Get Right and Rez, but they haven't really been fighting for that banana control so much. So they've actually had Lekro over towards the arch side with Dennis here, and you're going to see a rotation come in on the likes of Lekro here. This is mid-round, and it's almost for no reason. It's like, why is he moving? We can see where all other members right now of the Cloud9 side are, and they're just taking map control. Stiko has top banana. There's no reason for Lekro to be cheating over. Look, Dennis still had a bit of mid-information. You can see on the minimap there, and as this is going to play out, they do their mid-move. Lekro is forced now to come back over towards the bomb site, and Dennis now goes around to play the quad side. But the thing is, they're going to do a mid to B here. What's going to come out is Lekro being in such a limbo position when they do mid to B is going to get caught out. Dennis has to play for information. You're about to see that unfold here. He peeks out. He's going to get the information that the players are pushing towards the arch side as the flash comes in from Forest any second now. Peeks on out, trades out, but this is still where the prowess, the individual prowess from Cloud9 keeps playing into it. They go for the mid to B. We can fast forward here a little bit. Now, the thing that happens is you can see that it's left in a one-on-one situation with Forest all the way over in pit. The reason that he's so far away in this situation is because they thought that Get Right and Rez, both still being alive on the B bomb site, would be able to lock this situation down. Just puts a lot of pressure on Forest, and Skadoodle clutches out the 1v1 with ease. So it's just the situation of that mid to B. There was a lot of pressure there, and Lekro never really knew where to be, Alex.
That is, you know how you kind of, you struggle with the split screen? Sometimes you struggle, like you think there's too much information, you can't watch both perspectives.
Sure.
You've now put 5 perspectives on the screen there, Chad.
Yeah.
My eyes really struggled there. But once the 1v1,
We're mainly looking at the mini-map in the middle.
Sure.
But, you know, it's for those people who get bored of looking at one thing, they can look at all those other bits and pieces.
There's lots of things to keep you entertained.
But we'll do things where it's a bit more poignant looking at players' POVs throughout the day.
You can like show
and bring
me
it all
one,
together.
show me two.
Exactly.
Lovely. Okay, fantastic.
As we roll through.
I'm loving Chad's new toys. Let him know. It's at Sponge. He's looking for Twitter followers. Let him know if you're enjoying his new toys.
I'll take any followers.
Yes.
I'm starting a cult.
You are? Mm-hmm. Congratulations. Good luck on that.
You haven't already joined one?
I was thinking about it. I got the paperwork on my desk.
There's more to that. There's more to that than... Yeah, I like that.
There we go.
He's on fire today, and so is ESL One Cologne, because it continues after our break. We're going to have to cut it short just because we want to get all these games coming through. Up next, Mouse Sports with snacks? Conversations to be had after the break.
ESL One Cologne.